Hey, hey, hey! Welcome to the Real Talk podcast, where we will have chill conversations about life and talk about relatable life experiences, share tips, wisdom, and truth. The truth. Hoping that this would be a great reminder and shift as we walk through life.
And it takes away so much. It trades anxiety for peace.
That's so good. Welcome back to this podcast. Today we will be talking about making the most out of this season. So basically, it's you only live once, so you should make the most out of this season. And we are having a very special guest for today. um, he's actually a friend of mine, and he's also a co-leader of mine in a Connect group. I can say that he's a young professional because he's been through a lot of ventures and businesses also, and a lot of creative ideas in his mind. And he has a lot to say about how to stay sane, how to make the most out of the season. Even if ang hirap ng season na to, everyone's freaking out, everyone's having their anxieties, everyone doesn't know where to go or what to do or how to think and who to trust during the season. And I feel like he has a lot to share about that. And so, yon guys, please welcome Gelo in the house. Ayon, Gelo, first question. Game.
Game.
How have you been? Or kamusta?
Chill.
Really?
Hindi talaga. Well, ano naman, just like everyone else, we have things to
Yeah.
do. We're getting by.
Yeah. How do you stay sane during the season? Kasi 'di ba everyone's freaking out. Seriously, everyone's freaking out. Everyone don't know what to do. So how are you staying sane during the season?
By not figuring out
Wow.
everything
Wow. That's
that
so
I need to
good.
do. Kasi
So good.
parang pag mas lalo kong inisip kasi na kailangan ko i-figure everything out, especially in this season, mababaliw ko talaga eh. Kasi
Yeah,
mababaliw ko
yeah.
talaga.
Mm.
That's so much of a burden to bring or to carry.
Yeah.
And I'm sure napunta ka rin sa point na yun eh kasi everyone is having their own parang version of difficult
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
For me personally, to answer your question, I just really pray. So it's a very personal strategy if you
Yeah.
can call it a strategy of mine kasi ako personally ang ano ko eh very emotional ako, very passionate ako about things. Pagka merong something that didn't go my way,
Yeah.
na ano ako,
Oh wow, I agree.
na-tense ako.
Me too.
Ikaw din. Prayer just saves me a lot of pain, a lot of reckless
Wow.
abandon.
So good.
A lot of yung in control kasi
Oh,
pagka
yeah.
prayer for me is basically just letting go and
Mm-mm.
assigning the task to God kasi
Wow.
pagka darating din kasi yung point na may isip mo na okay, hindi ko kaya to and
Mm-mm.
hindi ko dapat parang labanan to.
Yeah.
So I just left him up to him and it takes away so much, gives it trades anxiety for peace.
That's so good. I don't even have to background on what he said. I can't deny that there's really something about prayer that gives us peace. And not just prayer itself, but the one that we are praying to. Diba?
Yeah.
Kasi if sometimes prayers can be in a wrong intention, with the wrong intention, tsaka with the wrong heart, di ba? Pero yun, that's how I stay sane also during the season, likewise. So anyway, let's proceed to the next question. So the next question is, was there anything you learned about yourself during the season that you didn't know before? More than a year. Ay, 1 year na, 1 year. 1 year. So, entire quarantine.
Yeah, parang alam mo na dati,
Oh.
pero alam mo na dati na may ganun kang difficulties or positives,
Yeah.
pero ngayon lang nag-fully bloom.
Okay.
Tells a lot about it tells a lot about being under pressure as well. Kasi
Ooh.
it's a place for us to be creative,
Yeah.
but it can also be a place for us to be destructive.
That's
At
so good.
nakilala ko yung sarili ko doon sa dalawang side na yon. I can be
Mm.
destructive and creative sometimes at the same time.
Yeah.
It's a platform today. Today is a
Yeah.
platform for us to know what we're capable of and what
Yes.
we aren't capable
Yes,
of.
yes.
'Di ba? Parang
Sige,
for
go.
example, in dating, 'di ba? In dating.
Relationship ba to? O, sige, go.
In dating, 'di ba? Kung sabihin natin, may
Okay.
dinidate ka.
Oh.
Tapos pagka everything is going well, parang akala mo, yan na, siya na yun, meant to be kayo, ganun.
Right.
And then you realize everyone is like that when everything is good. Right?
Yes, I agree. Okay.
And then when the tough times come, doon mo makikilala yung tao. Doon lalabas yung best side and the worst side
Yeah.
of both. Hindi na outside dating standpoint.
Okay.
Ganun ko din nakikita yung situation na to. Sige, para siyang double-edged sword. If sobrang lalim ng term, para siyang double-edged. It can attack something that's so good, pero it can reflect something back to you
Wow.
just as strong. Pero I believe both outcomes, whether it's good or bad, as long as we keep on seeing it as an opportunity to grow,
Yeah.
it's a win-win for us. Diba?
Yeah,
It's a
I
win-win.
agree. Gusto ko lang follow up about creativity. Or what platforms did you use? Or what did you do? Specific things that you did during the season about creativity.
Okay, so di ba pag naglalaro ka ng game, and then you have rules.
Yeah.
Pag naglalaro tayo ng game, we have rules. And then we
Yeah.
have limitations. Ito lang yung pwede mong gawin. Hanggang
Yeah.
dito ka lang. Bawal yung ganito. And right now, being in the pandemic, may rules tayo. It's sobrang dami nating rules. Bawal ka
Agree.
lumabas, bawal ka ganito yung mga tao, bawal ganito kalapit. And it's one way of looking at it is treat it like a game. Because play games, we look at rules as something that makes us think, something that act on outside inside of those boundaries, inside of those limits.
Yeah.
So for me, because of all of the limitations, mas nakapag-focus ako dun sa mga things na hindi ko nakikita when I was unlimited. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Kasi pagka sobrang laki ng scope, parang lahat ng angles nakikita mo and you don't know where to start, ganun.
Yeah,
And then
I agree.
you're so familiar with everything, ang laki ng view,
Yeah.
di ba? So ngayon, treating coronavirus as a form of limitation, and then I didn't know that I was creative in reaching out to people using technology.
Wow.
I didn't know that I was capable of producing work without getting out of the house.
Yes.
I was capable of creating a business inside my room.
Parang to put what you said in a context then, we were put inside a box with this pandemic, right? And then inside this box, we are trying to think outside of it. Follow-up question is, what are the creative things that you did during the season?
I'll go a couple of parang
Go.
pages back, saglit lang.
Go.
When I graduated college, I didn't look for a job right away. I knew that I wasn't built to solely just be seated in one job.
Yeah.
In an office, ganon, doing this type of work.
Same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So I had to figure things out at an early age doon sa mga gamit yung calling na na-receive ko from God Himself, right? So pandemic hit, and then I couldn't go out to apply for a job.
Yeah,
diba?
okay.
at first I saw that as a limitation na
Mm-mm.
parang ano ba yan? Mag-apply na nga dapat ako, ganun,
Right.
magtatrabaho na dapat. Pero nagkaroon pa ng pandemic, 'di ba? And then fast forward, nagkaroon ako ng mga multiple opportunities to go and apply for a job. Pero at the same time, sobrang dami ko nakikita na opportunities that sprung out of my own creativity as well.
Mm.
So one thing that really para manifested is starting my own business, right? So my
Wow.
own
Right.
business right now, I have a clothing brand na hindi ko pa ilalunch eh. Huwag niyo muna. Ilalunch ko pa lang. Right, ilalunch ko pa
Low-key
lang.
promote ko na eh. Okay, sige, go
Oo.
lang.
Okay, so I'm starting a clothing brand
Mm.
and I did the registering sa government. I did the designing, I did the sourcing, and I did the costing. I had no idea that I could do all of these things.
Right.
So just like what I said earlier, na what we think is a limitation might actually be an
Wow.
opportunity for us.
Wow.
'Di ba?
So
To see kasi
Yeah.
hindi mo alam kung gaano ka creative and ka ano tawag doon? Ano tawag doon sa Tagalog? Makisig? Hindi ko alam eh.
Ano ba?
Madiskarte.
Yes.
Madiskarte pala.
Agree.
Yun. Makisig yun. Makisig. Di mo alam kung gaano ka makisig unless binigyan ka ng challenges in front of you. Di ba?
Wow, that's
And
so good.
that's the way I saw it. I also, yun nga, nagkaroon pa ng times na we were also about to start our own company with co-founders. And yun yung
Right.
sinasabi mo sa akin na dapat magiging CEO ako. Pero hindi natuloy, guys. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Pero mangyayari yan.
Yes.
Yan.
Amen.
Yun yung mga hindi ko na-realize na kaya kong gawin all throughout. And I saw the pandemic as a curse for all of us.
Yeah.
Pero
Agree.
not entirely built to destroy us. Right?
Wow. Yes. Sige, I have a follow-up question with creativity. Since we are diving into creativity, for those people who don't consider themselves as creatives, kasi baka they are taking creativity as something lang for artists or creative people. How about the people who doesn't consider themselves as creative? What do you want to say to them? Or what's your advice for them?
Yeah, for me, I just want to say to people that you just have to realize that you are gifted before you were even born.
Yeah.
And all of us here have our own specific purpose. And it is up to us if we could act upon that purpose and then translate it into this creativity that we all have.
Yes.
Kasi if you are a carpenter, you were able to build houses. I wouldn't say that isn't creative.
Yeah.
Diba? If you plant and then it sprungs out as beautiful as it looks, I wouldn't say that isn't creative as well.
Yeah.
Everyone is creative in their own way.
Yes, I agree.
I just think that I just think that we have to do things first, and creativity will just be the result of our act.
Yeah, I agree. I just wanted to backride din dun sa sinabi mo about we are all born creative. I believe that kasi our creator is so creative.
Yeah.
And I believe that we're all creative. Yun nga, madiskarte is the term. Not really madiskarte lang in a way because I feel like that's just one level of being creative. But since our creator is so creative, I truly believe that we all have our creative sides. We're all gifted on that.
Precisely.
Let's move on to trusting naman during the season. Kasi I feel like one thing din yun during the season na making the most out of it nga, diba?
Yeah.
So, how to trust during these times? Na it's so hard to trust, for sure.
I'm going to be brutally honest to everyone, guys. It's really
Great.
hard, really, really hard for me.
Yeah.
Trusting myself, trusting my gut
Wow.
instincts. and I could go as far as trusting God. It's really hard
Wow. Yes.
for me, especially when there are so many low-hanging fruits that you can just, parang pwede mong
Ooh.
pitasin na lang kagad and the
Yeah.
option is there, tapos lahat, ganun. Pero
Mm.
I know I can speak for most people because everyone is called to do something bigger than
Mm.
themselves.
Yep.
And when you actually chase that calling, it becomes heavier and it
Yep.
becomes a much slower process, and you
Mm-mm.
don't see things develop as fast as you think
Yeah.
parang you would. Pero I go back to this place, being faithful, kasi faith is the evidence of the things that we do not see, right?
Yes.
And trust is very unassuring. Kaya ka nga nagtatrust kasi parang hindi mo alam walang numbers, walang statistics, walang entire logic.
Assurance. Yes.
Yeah, right? And especially now where parang lahat na lang nakikita mo is madilim.
Yeah.
Ang sobrang
Wow.
hirap. I can speak for so many people, and yun nga sabi ko, I go back to this place where everything we see now is a result of someone trusting in that process.
Yeah.
Kasi even the plants, when you plant one seed, you don't know that it's going to
Yeah.
parang blossom and
Prosper.
bloom.
Yes.
Oo, as much as you want it to. Pero you just kept on watering it, you just kept on putting sun. And I think yun nga, we just keep our head down. I saw this saying, I saw this post sa Instagram ata yun or sa Facebook. Obedience is our job and the outcome is God's job. So if we
Wow.
would
That's
just
so
obey,
good.
right? If we would just obey, it's up to God what happens next. And
Yeah.
as long as and being a loving father that he is, I'm sure that if we obey, he wouldn't forsake us, right? Anong klase ba naman
Tatay.
family yung sundin mo yan,
Yeah.
tapos biglang pagkasunod mo sa akin,
Iiwan.
bahala ka. Oo, di ba?
I agree. Siguro to put this also, trusting in a practical way. Di ba, pagka sumasakay tayo ng public utility vehicles, di ba, we trust the driver.
Yeah.
Di ba? Hindi ka lang naman sumakay doon kasi may tiwala ka agad. Eh, hindi mo nga kilala yung driver eh. Pero you're entrusting your
Yeah.
entire life to the driver. And you're sitting there not knowing if ma-aksidente kayo or hindi. So I feel like that's also one way of trusting on the season. If we can entrust ourselves to a pilot or a tricycle driver or a jeepney driver, how much more we can trust on our creator, diba?
Yeah.
If he created us, then why would we doubt? Why would we doubt and not give or doubt to give our trust to him? And even kapag kumakain ka sa restaurant, right? If you eat in a restaurant, you don't know what's in there. Diba? You just eat
Yeah.
everything. Even in McDonald's, let's say, McDonald's or Jollibee. Pag umorder ka, hindi mo naman alam kung may lasa niyan o wala. But you just trust the
Yep.
people who serves you. And I think that's one practical thing of trusting the season. If we are so doubtful in trusting everything with God, then bakit tayo bumibili or bakit tayo sumasakay sa mga ganon? Eh, tiwala din yun eh, di ba? So, I think that's a question for everyone. Not just for everyone else, but for me also. Because
Yeah.
sometimes, like what you said, ang hirap din for me to trust God. Kasi sabi mo nga, parang ang dali na lang to, parang hindi magtiwala or ang dali na lang na piliin yung mga bagay na easy na lang. We shouldn't really doubt Him. Especially na, yun nga, we decide on those things and then with God, we doubt, di ba? Ayun, are there times that you're feeling down?
Okay, every day.
Oh, yeah.
Every day.
I agree.
There will be a 45-minute downtime.
Yes.
Na parang under maintenance ako, na ganun. Na hindi hindi mag-work yung brain ko, o kaya parang sobrang dry ng spirit ko, o kaya wala akong gustong gawin, and I'm so fearful, doubtful, anxious, everything. How do I get back up? I go back to the why. I go back to why I'm doing
That's
this.
so good.
I
Yeah,
go back
I
to
agree.
why people need people like me to do this,
Wow. Yes. Yes.
and why I want myself to know my why.
Agree. Alam
Yeah.
mo, guilty ako whenever explaining. Parang I have this feeling of I have to explain myself always. Kahit na hindi
Yep. Yep.
kailangan. Yeah. So anyway, going back to you. Go lang. Sorry.
Okay, very, very precise and specific and concrete example. I'm currently doing this project with a client, and we're supposed to create video games for the children, parang gamify the lessons, the education system.
Wow.
And dumating yung mga hard times financially, business end,
Yeah.
technical wise, project wise, time, lahat. Every single part of me wanted to quit and to forfeit and to terminate the contract. Pero syempre hindi pa pwede kasi breach of contract yun, napaka-unprofessional. I still do it because we always go back to the why. And every business, every project, every art piece, we all started with the why. Why are we
Yeah.
even doing this, diba? Why do we even keep on pursuing things? And ang gasgas na to sa mga tao eh. Focus on the why, focus on the purpose. Kasi for us, ang nakikita lang natin is yung external part ng mga tao eh. For example, ikaw, hindi ko alam kung bakit mo ginagawa to, ganun.
Yeah.
Pero ikaw, you know in yourself that you
The
know your
why.
why.
Yes,
You know,
I
you know deep
agree.
in yourself. Pero it's much easier for other people to just point out the what. Kasi, ay ginagawa lang niya to para sa pera,
Wow.
ganun.
Yeah.
Ginagawa lang niya to for
Oh
exposure.
my
And it's
God.
much easier for us. But when we go back to the why, most people that last in any given industry, they just focus on the why.
That's
They
so
don't
good.
they don't build on profits, they don't build on
Yeah.
structures lang na by numbers, statistics, ganun. All of us focus on our core. Yun lang talaga yung magpapatakbo sa'yo kasi if anything, if everything else falls, as long as your why is your foundation, it's very
Yes.
stable. You can always put things back on top.
I just
Yeah.
wanna backtrack. Sabi mo nga kasi, di ba, parang ang dali lang to, for us, we know our whys, but, yun, other people doesn't know our whys. And, yun nga, like what I've said kanina, parang I feel like I always wanted to explain myself. Kasi, it's easier for everyone to have, to understand na, okay, kaya pala niya ginagawa. For me, this podcast, this is actually so stretching, like what I've been sharing to you guys. It's so stretching in a way na I know the why I'm doing this because I really wanted to share the truth to people. Now, not
Good.
water down the bad things that's happening, pero I also want to share the truth. Kasi ano pa bang ibang i-share natin? Kung may bad news, bakit natin di share yung good
Good
news,
news.
di ba?
Yes.
So, yun, that's my why. Na from the past few weeks, I've been so discouraged to really edit and invite people to be a guest on this podcast. Kasi every time na parang, hindi din naman ako maintindihan ng mga tao. Parang feeling nila exposure lang. Parang feeling nila gusto ko lang sumikat. Hindi talaga. Parang last year, when my original Facebook account, which has tons of followers. God taught me how to focus on Him and not focus on the likers and the people who
Good.
follows. Tapos nung tinuruan niya na ako maging low-key and ayoko nang bumalik sa social media, I have to kasi work, I'm a social media manager. And then, unti-unti, yun nga, since last year, he's been trying to put into my heart to put up a podcast. Lord, ayoko na nga bumabalik doon kasi ang hirap na I would go back again to that cycle na I'm trying to get the approval or the likes of everyone. Pero ayun, I felt like God just tinanggal niya lang yung during the season na nag-create ako ng new account, tapos ang dami kong nawalang friends and followers, quote unquote. Right now, I'm plainly doing this just to share the truth and nothing about myself. Sabi nga ng isang friend nung isang araw, girl, you must put your name in the, ano tawag doon, yung art cover sa Spotify. I just put it dun sa may logo. Pero nung una talaga, nagki-cringe ako. Ayoko talaga. Parang, ang hirap to take credit on something that you're just given a strength to do. Kasi
Oh, yeah.
hindi mo naman lahat ideas
Mm,
yon, and
agree.
especially you as a guest on everyone else na people na I'm guesting here. Wisdom naman nila yun, hindi ko naman wisdom. What I'm sharing right now is not just my thoughts, talagang truth naman siya from my creator. So, yeah, that's
That's
it.
good.
That's for me. That's for me.
If we're going to be honest here, Faye, no,
Oh.
we have chased those external factors too.
Yes,
Likes,
agree.
exposure,
Oh my
views,
God, yes.
ganon, approval, assurance,
Yes.
mga ganyan. And having the right heart to do things,
Yeah.
it's more for us rather than it is for God. Kasi if we chase those external factors, that will be our doom. Kasi if we didn't get all of those approvals, we're doomed. Wala na
Yeah.
tayo. Pero if we still end up chasing them and we
Yeah.
obeyed, kuwari sabihin natin, okay, Faye, start a podcast. And then, okay, Lord, start a podcast. Pero ikaw as Faye, the human being, you will chase the likes. God will still get glorified without you even knowing it. Kasi kasi parang kahit naman gawin natin, Diyos pa rin siya .
Yeah.
And he will at the end of the day still be glorified whatever it is that we do. Pero it is in our own hearts we really parang intend to really get God's heart as well inside of us. Kasi pagka fleshly pa rin yung hearts natin, right? And it's really bogus to do things for God but not with God.
Yeah, that's so true. That's why is the key.
Why
No,
is the
why.
key.
Yes. Why is
Why?
the key?
Paano ba yung why sa sign language?
Hindi
Ano
ko
to ba?
alam. Hindi ko alam. Hindi
Why?
ko alam. Why ba yun? Okay. Okay, anyway.
Ito.
Anyway, another question is where do you get your hopes or your hope during the season?
Jesus.
Right.
Sobrang simpleng sagot. Jesus. Period.
Yes.
Kanino pa ba? Kanino pa ba? Kasi, and I think there's a reason din, no, kung bakit Jesus didn't leave very, very, very concrete evidence. Kasi He doesn't want us to remain only in what we see, what we touch, what we feel physically.
Yeah.
But He wants us to hope in the Spirit, in our very core. Our bodies won't work naman if we don't have our souls in us, right? And God wants us to think that way and to live that way. And me being as hopeful as I can about all of the visions, the dreams, yung mga calling, kahit na does it make sense? Does
Impossible.
not make
Yes,
sense.
I agree.
Sobrang it doesn't make sense talaga.
Yes. Oh,
If
sobra.
you look at the Bible, story of Jesus, everything does not make sense.
Yes.
The gospel itself does not make
Does
sense.
not make sense.
The more we try to make sense out of things, the more we get crazy. Sobrang totoo yan. Sobrang totoo yan. It's also written in Ecclesiastes, parang life is like a smoke. Diba? Parang vapor. The more you try and grab it, it takes another form. Parang akala mo, ito pala yung buhay. So, naintindihan ko na yun na. Tapos biglang iba na naman siya.
Wow,
And
yes.
Kasi ako, being a game designer, I create worlds, right? I create different worlds. And alam ko yung front to end. Alam ko kung paano magsisimula and paano matatapos. Pero binibigyan ko yung mga players ng full parang freedom kung gawin nila kung ano yung gusto nilang gawin inside my game, right? And I think God thinks that way too. Binibigyan niya tayo ng full creativity, freedom, bahala ka kung ano gusto mo.
Yeah. Yes,
This is what I
yes.
have for you. Do what you want.
Mm-mm.
Pero alam mo yon, parang sila, yung mga players or tayo, hindi nila nakikita yung kung paano nagsimula and paano magtatapos.
Creator.
Not
Yeah.
until they finish the game or us, until we die.
Wow.
Hindi natin makikita,
Good
right?
logic, yeah.
And for us, ako being a game creator myself, gusto ko lagi na nakikita ko na yung end. Gusto ko lagi na parang sure na. Kasi ganun gumawa ng mundo eh. Kita ko na eh, sure na.
Right.
And nakakabaliw kasi I think naisip ko na, well, if I could apply this in game, I could apply this in real life.
Yeah.
Pero you could apply everything in the middle, pero you won't really see the end. That's what I realized. That's what I know. And I only get hopes really dahil ang assurance ko is someone created this game called life, and it's God himself, and alam niya yung end.
Yes.
Alam niya kung paano magtatapos. Binibigyan niya tayo ng clues in the Bible, pero hindi niya sinospoil kung ano talaga mangyayari. And that's such a, alam mo yung mga sa K-drama, yung pagka matatapos na yung episode, tapos may mga cliffhanger,
May twist.
Oo,
Plot twist.
sabihin, ito yung, parang sasabihin nila sa'yo na ito yung mangyayari, pero in
Hindi.
between going that,
Oo.
hindi pala.
Yeah.
Hindi
Oy,
pala.
that's why I'm so hands down sa mga writers ng Korean drama. Sobrang amazed ako sa kanila kasi they know how to play the game.
Yeah.
Ang padulo na, sobrang na-amaze ako sa kanila. Galing nila mag-write. Anyway, you're saying.
Yun din. Tama. Napunta na tayo sa K-drama, di ba? Umikot na tayo sa lahat ng entertainment. Well, yun nga. Kasi di ba pagka nahuhook tayo eh. Pagka binibigyan tayo ng nahuhook tayo. And I think God also plays us that way. Na, nawawalan ka na ng hope. Ito, medyo bigyan ka tayo ng onting spoilers. Medyo may ganito mangyayari. And then, that brings our hopes back. And then we walk through life again and the cycle repeats until the end. We see talagang hindi mo talaga may explain logically
the current.
Yeah.
Yes.
How trust is really the only thing that you can do.
I think what you're trying to say then is yung journey, sobrang sobrang maraming plot twist. Pero at the end, it is spoiled already. Di ba nangyari nga ngayong Easter? Guys, spoiled na. Okay na, tapos na eh. He's already done everything for you. And all you just have to do is just to trust him and to have hopes and faith in him. And for me, where do I get my hope during the season? Yes, for sure, that's from Jesus talaga. Because to be plainly honest, I'm not here physically, and even siguro kahit nandito ako, sabi ko nga dun sa isang post ko, I'm a walking dead if hindi ako sinave or hindi.
Yes, agree.
Yun, hindi ako
Same
sinave
here.
ni Jesus. Right?
Ako din po. Guys,
I
ako
might
din
be,
po
yes. That's it. I mean, if, yun na lang, last question na lang is, what's your message for everyone who's listening this podcast right now?
And
Pressure. Go lang.
don't try to save the world, guys. Don't try to save the world. Don't think that you're God. Don't play the role of God.
Wow, that's so good.
I've been there, guys. I've tried those things. And sasabog kayo.
Yeah.
I swear.
Yes,
and
yes.
it's a good thing then looking at it that way, because you will really have reverence on how God is able to handle.
Yes.
Ako pa nga lang, I'm such a handful eh.
How much more pag dinagdag ako tas lahat.
Diba? Oh,
my God, I can't imagine.
Right? And we let God do His part without us being ignorant,
Yeah.
playing our own part.
Yeah. Mm.
Because as God as He is, as in control as He is, still called
Mm.
us to do something. He wants to use us for something.
Wow.
And if we parang think of it as if, well, kung may Diyos, edi siya na bahala sa akin, parang ganun.
Mm.
Siya na bahala.
Yeah.
We have to still think that, hey, God gives us free will.
Yes.
And
Yes.
nasa sa atin talaga how we wanted to spend our lives, how we wanted
Mm.
to spend
Mm.
this pandemic.
Yeah.
I'm going to go parang medyo harsh, pero pwede tayong magmukmuk na lang
Mm.
buong pandemic and then blame everything on the pandemic, blame
Yeah.
everything on God, and then say that hindi mo lang naiintindihan ganito, hindi mo
Mm.
naiintindihan.
Mm.
Pero hey, literally everyone has their own difficult.
Yes.
Meron tayo lahat. Pwede natin lahat sabihin na hindi mo rin ako naiintindihan and so
Yeah.
on and so forth. And it's okay. It's okay na hindi natin naiintindihan yung isa't isa.
Mm.
We don't need to understand everyone kasi
Yes.
we really can't.
Wow.
First of all,
Yes.
we really can't.
Agree.
Di talaga natin maintindihan isa't
Yeah.
isa.
Yeah. Mm.
Hindi mo alam kung saan kayo kakain eh. Tapos iintindihan niyo yung isa't isa, di ba? Parang,
Kain
ano
tayo
gusto mo
saan?
kainin? Kahit ano. O kahit ano, kahit saan. Kahit ano, ano gusto mo.
Yeah.
Tapos pag binigyan mo ng kahit ano, ba't yan? Di ba? Ayun pa lang eh. Ayun pa lang, di
Yes. I
ba?
agree.
So yun, don't play God, guys. Don't play God
Wow. Yes.
because it's really uh hindi natin kayang i-alter what he started and what he's going to finish with.
That's so
He's
good.
God. He's God. We can't do anything about it. We can obey. We can disobey. He's still God.
Yeah. Yeah.
We can agree. We can disagree. He is still
Mm-mm.
God. We can forgive or
Unforgive.
unforgive.
Yes.
Still God.
Yeah.
Lahat talaga ng mga ginagawa natin, guys, it's just for our own, if we wanted to live this fulfilled life,
Mm-hmm.
up to us, pero He's still going to be God at the end of the day.
That's so
So,
good.
lahat ng mga calling niya, lahat ng commandments niya, it's really more
Mm-hmm.
for us rather than it is for Him talaga.
Yes. Yes.
Kasi wala eh, parang kahit ano naman laban natin, wala tayong
Right.
magagawa eh. And in
Mm.
surrender, we realize our full strength. Kasi
That's so
we
good.
were created only for His glory and
Yeah.
not for anything else. Not for anything else. We can try to go ahead and pursue our own.
Mm-hmm.
We can try. Try lang.
Yeah.
Ganun lang. Share ko lang. Ano lang, subok lang, try lang. Hits lang. Pero wala. He's God.
Mm-mm.
Yun
I
lang.
agree. I agree. Well, for me, my message for everyone who's listening to this is that, tama sinabi ni Jello, if you put your hope in yourself, ano ka na? Kamusta ka na, di ba? Kung gulong-gulo ka na sa mundo, gulong-gulo ka na din sa iniisip mo, edi wala na, walking dead ka na din. So I feel like my
Yeah.
message really is yun. If you're trusting someone to drive you somewhere, then just trust. Why don't you just trust God, right? For sure, subok mo na lahat ng faithfulness niya kahit gaano ka nag-backslide or kung ano man tawag, kung
Yep.
kung ano man yung mga decisions mo before. Like, I can attest to that na even if ang dami kong decisions before na sobrang lala, guys, still, yung grabe, if hindi ko sinurrender yung buhay ko sa kanya, that's the main tip I can give to you, is just to surrender your life to
Yep.
Him, not forcefully, because I believe, and based from my experience, God is a patient God. He's not a forceful God. And so wherever you are right now, or anumang place, anumang season, masaya ka man, feeling mo wala kang problema, or sobrang down ka man, for sure you need someone that you can put your hope on during this season. Yun. Yun lang.
Good. That's
Yeah,
good.
that's it for me, Jello. Thank you so much, really, for joining me today. kahit may
Thank you for having
technical
me.
issues, ang daming
Oo,
technical issues
sobra.
around. But thank you so much. Sobrang galing ng wisdom mo. I'm really blessed to
Wala.
be your friend. Uy, ano ba? Wisdom from God. O sige, yun na lang.
Yes.
I'm really
Sobrang humble po tayo dito, mga kapatid.
huhumain ka
Naway,
na kapag ka-humble.
And if you have any question and topic that you want to hear from us, please message us. We'd love to include those too. I hope to see you guys on our Real Talk episodes. I'm your host, Camille. Enjoy this podcast as much as we did while recording it. Stay safe. God cares about you so much.